Whoops, there we go. Test, test, test. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? Let me know how we sounding. Let me know how we sounding. So today is going to be an interesting day. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. But we got FOMC today. We had GP news pop off about an hour ago. GP news didn't really do anything too crazy. As you can see, this was the 2 a.m. news. So we talked about a few setups in yesterday's live. Turn this volume down a little bit. Talked about a few setups in yesterday's live. We broke them down in the TikTok live yesterday. So again, if you're not following me on TikTok, make sure to follow me on TikTok. I see a screen at the bottom of the screen, playmaker, no underscore playmaker way underscore. Also make sure to follow me on Instagram. Oh man, we're in drawdown on gold. Looks like the win streak's about to end right here. We went for a gold setup before we went live. Looks like we're gonna be in drawdown. We're still gonna hold to SRTP gets hit. But again, we was talking about yesterday's live as well as Monday. We was going for sales. We got the bearish momentum, but we're going to need a little bit of volume to break through this level. We rejected this level and tapped it yesterday. Price retraced. Held that level as resistance. We went for the sell after price showed it was holding this level as resistance. But we're in drawdown right now. We're looking for sales nonetheless, as long as we can maintain the whole 33, 34 as resistance. But we are in drawdown on that trade right now. But if y'all was in yesterday's live, we was talking about GJ buys, we talked about gold sales, and then we talked about US30 buys. 2 out of 3 charts wouldn't have did the full move we was looking for. NAS also ended up reversing hard yesterday, which is very interesting. Very interesting. US30 is still showing bullish momentum though. Wouldn't have been against this setup, but it kind of did the move before London session. So that's why I went for the gold setup. But NAS ended up rejecting hard yesterday. So we're kind of in a reversal territory on NAS100. And then we had a retracement take place on GJ as well. Now we are still over this level of traffic here, but you can clearly see our price might try to retest 190, maybe 55, 198.50 today. We're still looking for buys nonetheless, as long as we can respect and hold 198.50 as support, right? Because again, we look to the left, these were the resistance levels. Last time we was at this height, price failed to hold. Right, we had rejection. Then when price tried to come back up, after we had a reversal into the downtrend, what happened? Price rejected again, right? And then we go back a couple months down the line, who's going for buys, the same resistance level, price rejected, and then we broke back above it. And again, all July was stuck ranging right here. In the beginning of the month, we had the reversal, right? Then we had price bring his way back up. These were the buys we caught last week. And then you can see last week and a little bit of this week, we was trying to attempt to hold 199.70 as support, right? It did a nice job doing that on Monday. And obviously, we caught a nice buy setup on here last week as well. But as you can see yesterday, we fell the level of support. It was super choppy, barely missed TP2, and the price rejected. And you can still see it's just been ranging and choppy. Even the news, when we had news at 2 a.m., right, when we go to the chart, even the news failed to break back above this level right here. So we're just letting price do its thing right now. I did like how gold was looking. It did retest hold as resistance, but it is rejecting right now. But we're going to hold to SRTP gets hit like always, because again, sales is still the move to go for, because again, we got a nice sell yesterday, got a nice sell on Monday. We're bearish. We had a nice retracement. It did retest this level. So again, we just need some volume to kick in, and we can catch a nice lower low here, like we did a few months ago. Well, not even a few months ago. This was last month, right? Yeah, last month. All right, we're going to a naked chart. And we talked about this in the TikTok live yesterday. So again, if y'all are missing out on the TikTok lives, y'all better be on them if you can. But I am going to start recording them and posting them for the on the YouTube for the YouTube members, as well as members of Playmaker University. So do be on the lookout for that. But again, we had caught buys 2 weeks ago, right? So we go back down memory lane. We're not going to be trading US30 or well, we're definitely not trading NAS. Like I said, NAS and US30. This is also what goes back to what I talk about sometimes from time to time, right? All right. So again, when NAS first hit all-time highs, I stopped trading NAS100, right? I started trading US30, right? But this is what I mean. Like US30, NAS, SPX, they are correlating pairs, but not all the time are they going to always do the same move, right? And we can look at the market structure US30 NAS100 right now to literally see that, right? Like sometimes on the smaller time frame, we'll see a similar move, right? But a lot of times, market structure wise, is where you can see a lot of the differences, right? So, like on a smaller time frame, what price is currently doing, they're moving similar, right? They're currently moving similar as far as what it's been doing for the past couple hours. Y'all see that? But when we go to the market structure and the trend, we see two completely different stories. You know what I'm saying? You see two completely different stories, right? So I like US30 market structure more. So we're going to switch this off and we're going to go to break down what we was just talking about. Make sure to like the live as y'all hop up in here, y'all, and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Got a new video dropping for y'all later on today. Um, like always, you guys got any questions, drop them in the chat. When can you charge? Drop them in the chat. All right, so wait, okay, there we go. All right, so let's put this back on. Right, so 2 weeks ago, we didn't take any gold setups last week, right? Because last week price was dancing, so we didn't take any gold setups last week, right? But 2 weeks ago, we caught this higher high. All right, we caught this higher high. We caught these buy setups 2 weeks ago, right? When it was above this level. All right, this was August 7th. This was August 6th, Monday. Again, if y'all seen these live streams, y'all could have recalled we took these setups. Also, good show we took these setups in the advanced play signal room. Let me show that really quick. These are old signals I'm about to show, so nobody take these setups. I'm just taking this back down from the beginning of the month to break down what we're looking for while we're doing what we're doing right now. Again, if you guys got any questions, drop them in the chat. When can you charge? Drop in the chat. But let me pull it up really quick. All right, so again, you see August 5th, we took gold buys. Then you can see August 6th, we also took gold buys. All right, all TVs got hit on both of those, right? So let's bring this back over to the right, over to the left of my screen. All right, so this was the week was catching buys, right? Because we failed to maintain this level as resistance, right? We reversed right back out of it, and then was one level of support, so it's going for buys, right? Because again, this is where the all-time highs are at, so that's why we went for buys here. But then after that week, we had price last week retraced Sunday night, did a nice retest, but then when it came to London session, we failed to hold this low as support, and it was in reversal territory. And then again, you can see literally for the first 3 days of the week, price just danced at this level. And then when price woke up a little bit, it still failed to hold this low back as support. You even still see my buy idea here, right? So price failed to hold this low as support. Then it rejected back down. Then we also see here, going into Thursday and Friday, price failed to hold as low as resistance, which is why, again, we didn't take any trades at all last week, right? So we caught this higher high here. Then we go into next week, Monday, we had that fat reversal take place, right? And just like with the price action technical analysis playbook, Again, we broke this down in the TikTok live yesterday. But let's pull out the playbook really quick. Let's pull out the playbook. Like I said, I'm gonna start recording the TikTok lives for the Playmaker University members and the YouTube members. When we go to the price action signal analysis playbook, and then we go to the rules of the uptrend. Let me find the rules of the uptrend really quick. I got so many screenshots. Give me 1 second. Here. All right, it says in order for the uptrend to continue, we need to break past the previous high, which gives us a new higher high. Look at photo below. We also have to respect the support level the higher low is resting on, right? So when we go back memory lane, again, 2 weeks ago, we caught this buy. I just showed y'all this. Again, August 7th, August 6th, Friday, right? We caught that buy. So we had right here, higher low, higher high, right? So just like the photo shows, for uptrend to continue to make a new higher high, we got to break that resistance level, turn into support, right? So for the uptrend to continue, we need to see price continue to push to the upside. Obviously, the next week, price rejected, right? And then what's the next part for those that got the playbook? What's the next part? Rejections and reversals happen, but a reversal doesn't always mean the trend is going to change. As long as price doesn't turn the support level into a resistance and or make a lower low, we are still in the uptrend and still only looking for buys. Right? So price. So if price held, it was no longer an uptrend, it was going to start looking for sell. So when we fast forward to, there we go. So when we fast forward to what took place last week, price held that low as resistance and gave us a lower low on Thursday, right? This was Friday last week, which is why in the Sunday chart analysis, as well as the live stream Monday and yesterday, we was talking about looking for sells, right? And then look what happened Monday and yesterday. We had the lower lows, we had low get made, right? So we went for higher highs because price broke that level, like the playbook said. We started to see lower lows, and then we caught that wick down on Monday, and the price continued to push down yesterday. Right now, continued sells right here, right? All right, so we can see here price holding as low as resistance right here. All right, so this level on this chart, price just tapped that level. It's a little bit different from the one I'm trading off of right now, but it's kind of the same situation, right? So we're chilling at this level. So we can maintain a hold 33.26 as resistance. We're going to be looking for sells going back down to 33.14. That's what we're looking at. GBPJPY, judicious level, maintain 19. We're looking for vol tomorrow. We gotta hold low support. Really, if we're not, we're going to be choppy, or we're going to have a reversal take place, right? So we can't maintain this level of support. We're either going to be chop city. We're going to have Again, y'all, if you got questions, drop them in the chat. When we look at any charts, drop them in the chat. Make sure to hit that first link in the description. Join the free Signal and free Telegram. Sounds clear. Appreciate that. Yeah, the bulls against right now. Appreciate those that like the live. Make sure to like the live up in here. Y'all subscribe. You're not subscribed already. We just hit 3,800 subscribers. Let's get to 3,000 that easily. 3,000. Let's get to 3,000. Not 3,010. 3,850. Yeah, so that's enough. We'll stick right there. Again, we need to hold this low as support though for the uptrend to continue. Appreciate that, G. So it's going to be really interesting. With FOMC days, it kind of goes one of two ways, or maybe three ways, depending on how you count it, right? We either see price chop the hold up until FOMC, or be able to catch a setup before FOMC pops out. It's literally that simple. It's either choppy all fucking day, or until FOMC pops off, or sometimes we can find a setup before FOMC pops off. It literally goes one or the other. Right? It's literally one or the other with FOMC days. Right. And then on top of that, not every FOMC event there'd be big volume spikes, right? There's been plenty of times being the members went live and there was no action. Usually that's the case when there's like two FOMC events, like you want to do like 2 o'clock, 2:30 FOMC, but today it's just one FOMC. So it's gonna be interesting. We also have all typical third week of the month, a bunch of under session news tomorrow as well. As we have 2 USD news events. So it's going to definitely be interesting. Like I said, we need volume for these moves to keep going, right? We just broke all-time highs on US30. We're going to need some volume to keep pushing to the upside and making new higher highs, right? We talked about gold. Gold, we caught. We got a lot of choppiness, right? And again, we're catching rejection wicks down with the momentum, right? So we still haven't really seen any full volume candlesticks in a minute on gold. So we're going to need some volume to break through this mess, right? Because again, we go back in time, every time we was catching these lower lows here off this level, we failed to make a new lower low after the fact, right? Just like every time we hit the higher highs, like we were showing on this chart, we struggle to make new higher highs. Right, so we've been struggling to go up, and we've also been struggling to go down, as we can see with gold. So we need some volume to break through that, right? Same thing here. All right, same thing we talked about with here. We've been wicking and retesting this level since last week. We need to maintain this low as support right here for the uptrend to continue. All right. Or we're going to see another possible reversal take place. And like I said, NAS100 just fucking reversed yesterday, so I'm not even looking for buys on NAS100 as of right now. We got a new 5-minute about to pop up in a little bit. If you guys got any questions, drop them in the chat. When we're looking at your chart, drop them in the chat. The gold's kind of just hugging us. Let's see what's going to push back down for us. StreamYard be trolling, man. What do we got here? Appreciate becoming a new member too. Like I said, since we got more members on the YouTube side, I kind of stopped because we didn't have members for a cool minute. I also wasn't promoting this shit. But since we got a couple more members, like I said, on the TikTok lives, I'm gonna start recording them and posting them on here for y'all, as well as the members in Playmaker University, as well as I'm gonna start uploading the stuff the membership tier says. I got y'all. Again, I got a new video dropping for y'all later on today. Also, make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I see that screen at the bottom of y'all screen. Instagram, Playmaker_Wait, TikTok _Playmaker_Wait_. Again, like I said before, those that watch the TikTok lives, like I tell y'all that London session lives are different from the TikTok lives, and those that missed the New York TikTok lives, the New York TikTok lives are not the same as the London session lives. So don't think they're the same. They're two completely different things. Both are valuable, but they're two different vibes, two different things we're doing during the live. So tune into today's live later on today. We'll see what we're talking about. So you said what to wait for on GBPJPY. So like we was talking about before, as far as market structure, as I was breaking down the conditions of the chart, also when it's because one thing that's important to remember the students all the time is you don't want to take a trade, but you want to understand what is taking place, what can possibly take place, all the possible scenarios that can happen. That way, with all the information you have, you can make a decision whether, okay, does this make sense to take this trade? Am I okay with these conditions? Am I okay with possible outcomes this trade can have, right? And then you take the trade. Because again, a lot of times when people are in drawdown or loss or take a W, the emotions or the nerves, all that stuff that be happening is because they didn't fully understand what could possibly happen, or they weren't prepared or accepting what could possibly happen. So before I take a trade, I want to know what needs to happen, because again, price can ultimately do one of two things: either go up or go down. So I need to know and understand what needs to happen in the markets for price to go up or go down. Also, know the risk of the trade I'm taking and all the possible things that can happen from this trade, right? So again, that's how I'm able to explain why something went my way, why something didn't go my way, and also how I'm able to get projections on a daily and a weekly basis. But as far as what we're looking for with GJ, we're looking to see who we can maintain and hold this level at support, right? Because we look right here at the price projected this level here. It failed to hold this level at support. Last night, held support. It didn't do a big move, but it did hold the level of support. GJ is going to be able to maintain the whole 199.15 as support. If we hold 199.15 as support, we can look for buys going back to 199.7. Or if it rejects this level, as long as it means 5 as support, which is the buys we took last week, we're still bullish. Right, like we was talking about before, we needed to hold that level as support, or we need to break through that. Just how the market structure works, right? We're going to do the time frame to break this down as well. Once my computer screen loads. Once my computer screen loads. 1 second. And my thing, there we go. All right, because again, and in my trade breakdown I dropped on Monday, I talk about this as well. So y'all didn't watch the trade breakdown I dropped earlier this week, make sure to check that out. I'm going to drop that in the chat right now. All right, because in this trade breakdown, hold on 1 second. What's going on? There we go. All right, so in this trade breakdown, I talk about GJ, but if we just do it, we just walk it down like how we do this stuff in the TikTok lives as well, but again, it's important since we're looking for setups right now. So we're going to just like walk it down. Let's walk it down. All right. So we can see here again. Let's go back to GJ right here. I'm going to break this down. I'm going to break this down. New 15 about to pop up as well, by the way. Yeah, gold's kind of just chilling right there. US30 is pushing nicely. So US30 can break back above 44.950 as support. We could look for the same buy set that we've been talking about Monday and yesterday. Y'all was live yesterday. We talked about this setup. 6 a.m. price reject and push back up. Did a retest. We go 8 a.m. and also 9:30. Retest that level and flew to the upside. And then also the gold setup. We talked about yesterday's live again. We're in this setup right now. We are in drawdown. But we're going to hold that SR2 as usual. We talked about that earlier. So just rewind to the beginning of the live. Or ask again. We talk about gold. Again, look at that GJ, right? We had time. Okay. We had the reversal take place, just like we was talking about before with the price action technical analysis playbook. Let's pull that back out. Again, if you guys got any questions, drop in the chat. We're looking at charts, drop in the chat. So we go to the price action technical analysis playbook, and we go to the rules of the uptrend, and we find that screenshot really quick. So as for the uptrend to continue, we need to break past the previous high, which gives us a new higher high. Look at photo below. We also have to respect the support level, the higher low is resting on. So we can see right here that this was the higher high, higher low, higher high. Obviously, price reversed, right? And just like the next screenshot says right here, rejections reversals happen, but a reversal is always going to trend going to change. As long as price doesn't try to support a little bit into resistance and or make a lower low, we are still in the uptrend, still only looking for buys. So when price failed to hold this higher low level as a support, like the photo shows right here. Where's the photo? Like the photo shows right here, failed to hold this level as support. Price also did not turn this level into resistance, right? Which is why the bullish momentum came back into play. So now what do we need to see happen? We need to see price rupture to continue, break past the previous high, and turn that resistance level into support, right? So we understand, which is what we saw last month in July. Price do all month, right? But again, when there's low volume up is either to reverse, continue the trend, which is why we saw the reversal take place August 1st, right? And then guess where that landed at? It landed right at the same level. Now it's a resistance level that got turned to support. Also the same level where price reversed that before the bullish momentum came back into play. Again, that's not a coincidence. But again, just like it said right here, rejections, reversals happen, but a reversal is always mean the trend is going to change. As long as price doesn't turn the support level into a resistance and or make a lower low, we are still in uptrend and still only looking for buys, which is why after that Monday, we did not look for sells and we let price reverse. And again, look at where price bounced at. The same level price bounced at here, which was the same level price was treated as a resistance, basically. Again, coincidence. So then after Friday, when price pushed back above this level, that's when we went for buys. That Monday and Tuesday last week, right? That's one for buys. It looks like GJ is holding a level. Yeah, this was a red candlestick. Now it's green. This is pushing. Again, this was the setup we took on Monday, right? So again, the price reversed on that Friday. That Monday, we went for that sub. Price tanked, right? But then Tuesday, price failed to hold this low as resistance, failed to hold this low as resistance, and then we didn't take a setup, right? Thursday, price projected back down. We took a sell, got looked at it like TP2. The price reversed back up and was holding this low back of support. So after price did this on Thursday or Friday, that's when we let GJ do his thing. So then when that Monday came out last week, and again, watch Monday's live last week, we broke this out into this Monday's live. That's when we for buys and got this big move to the upside, right? Again, this was Monday, August the 11th. We go back to the GJ walk down. This was the 12th, right? So now we're attempting to not only make a new higher high, break through this level of traffic, right? This was the 12th. So again, notice how Monday we had this big push to the upside, and after we had that big push to the upside, we've been struggling to maintain this low as support, as you can see last week as well as this week, right? Because we need to hold that low as support for the new higher high and the uptrend to continue. And that's kind of what we're dealing with right now, right? So we had price retest this level, wick up, broke that wick up. We had price the next day retest that level, wick up, right? So that's what we're dealing with right now. We're trying to hold this low as support and make a new higher high. This is why, again, price has been ranging choppy. Just like last time it was up, the price has been. That's why we see price to hold this level as support right here. You see what I'm saying? So that's what's going on with GJ. Again, we do got FOMC later on today at 2 p.m. I'm not going to go live with the members during the FOMC. I'm going to go live with the members tomorrow and Friday. But yeah, that's what's going on with the charts right now. That's what's going on with the charts right now. And then you see gold just kind of still just chilling right there. Then you also see GJ chilling right there. So as of right now, I'm just going to mainly be paying attention to gold and GJ. US30. If it wakes up during the New York session, we could look at it during the New York session because US30 has actually been doing very, very good. I'm enjoying trading US30. Obviously, we took out of London last week as well, which was this setup here. We also took this setup, we got wicked out just for it literally that same night to do the move we was looking for. And then yesterday did the exact move we was looking for with ease. But that's just how the markets go. You know what I'm saying? That's just how the markets go. Yeah, but GJ is pushing nicely. Gold, we're going to see if gold's going to push back down for us. And then GU, I'm not really messing with GU, which I haven't been talking about it because I just don't like where it's at right now. Right. And if I see a chart and I don't like where it's at, I'm just not going to trade it instead of trying to find a setup. That's the same way y'all should be. If you're not comfortable with the chart or you just genuinely don't like what it looks like, don't try to trade it. You don't got to. Just go into another chart or wait until a price looks like something you like. Got a new 5 minute about to pop a little bit. pushing nicely. Gold is pushing back down. Let's see if we're going to make some bread on this live stream. Make sure to hit that first link in the description and join the free student free Telegram. I'll see you on your streams every last month and last quarter. Go ahead and hit that first link and check it out for yourselves. So again, y'all, we're looking for buys still as long as we can maintain and hold this level of support. If, as of right now, if it can maintain hold 199.15 as support, we can look for buys going back up to 199.65. But we need to hold 199.65 as support for the uptrend to continue. But we see a nice push taking place right now. So if we go as low as support, we're looking for buys here. And as long as we respect and maintain this level of support, we're still bullish. Let's show some numbers.
We're always a step ahead. Like how the price of your
Man, once in a blue moon, we do get them ads coming in. You know, gotta make that bread though, I guess. Yeah, I can't even skip this. Get your money then, my boy. Get your money. Two for two, back to back to back. Yeah, you was that y'all should make some bread. Gold still kind of chilling right now. Oh, that's why the playlist. This one don't be having ads. It be the other one. That's because the playlist ended. So let me go ahead and rewind that thing really quick. All right, there we go. Back to our regular scheduled program. Let me send this message to the members really quick. All right, but this goes to what I was talking about in the video dropped on Monday, as well as what I was talking about in the TikTok live yesterday, right? So I also talked about this with the members yesterday, so let me show y'all that as well. Right, so again, let me go back and hold on. Show me quick. All right, so yesterday, if y'all was in yesterday's live, y'all wasn't, you just pushing mother, but you just going crazy. Gold's still teasing us though. But this is a good example right here as well, right? So if y'all was in yesterday's live, there was three setups we was talking about. 4 if you count NAS100, but NAS100 didn't meet our confirmations. US30 did. So it was 3 setups we talked about. US30, gold, and GJ. Monday, there was 3 setups we talked about. GJ, gold, and I think US30 as well, right? Monday, we was talking about US30 buys here. Obviously, Monday price did not do a damn thing on US30, right? Monday, gold did the move we was looking for. Monday, GJ did the move we was looking for. So it was 2 for 3. We talked about gold sells. We talked about US30 buys. We talked about GJ buys, right? So again, like I said before, not every time you take a trade is it going to, again, just be pumping or doing the move you're looking for, right? Because again, we look at this level right here. We took a buy here yesterday, a buy here Monday, a buy here Thursday, a buy here Wednesday, and then we also saw Tuesday. Right? So we see Tuesday choppy, right? Wednesday, we had a nice push to the upside, clean volume. Thursday, we had a retracement, but it still was clear volume, clean volume to move to the upside. Right? We go to Monday. Again, nice push to the upside, clear volume. Yesterday, drop, right? So this literally shows, again, we took the same buy setup at the same level, but it was different every single day how it played out, right? Now, there's a few reasons. One, obviously has to do with volume, but two, it also has to do with the market conditions, which is why we broke down what was taking place with DJ earlier in the live. If you missed that, just rewind like 10 minutes, right? But what I really want to point out is, again, just because this trade did not hit all the TPs or fully play out does not mean that the strategy's wrong. Or if you take a trade and it doesn't play out this one time, that doesn't mean the strategy's wrong. Because again, we looked at 3 setups yesterday. 2 out of the 3 setups, the 3 setups did some moves, but GJ was the smallest move, right? Gold and you did the full move we was looking for yesterday, right? And this is what I talked about with the members and students. So we go to the events place signal, you can see this as well. And this is how y'all should go about trading as well. So this is what I was talking to with the members and students. So again, we go in here. This is an old trade. This is an old trade. All right, cool. Go by, take this up. So this is the trade we took yesterday, right? We had TP1, we barely missed TP2. You can see TP2 was 199.90. We go to GJ, you can see 199.90. We missed them by literally half a pip, right? And then after that, price rejected. And then you can see after hit the stop loss, it chilled here for a little bit, and then it rejected, right? After price as this was somewhat so was right. This is gold. We go to gold. Hold on. Gold again. 36. 840 candlestick. I feel like I read it right now. Oh, there we go. See the gold cell we took. See, I'm talking about US. This was 846. You can see in 05. You'll know G project. I don't know. Gold is going as projected as well, right? And that's in the voice message. You didn't listen to that voice message. Listen to that voice message, right? So even though DJ whipped this out, if we just again, if you understand your strategy works, again, yes, we had 100% win rate last week, right? But if you look, I say this all the time, look at a monthly and quarterly basis, we lose trades, right? You're going to lose trades. We lose on average 4 trades a month, so that's 1 trade a week or 2 trades every other week, right? So when those win streaks happen, and when I was first trading with the strategy, those win streaks used to fuck me up mentally because again, I'm a gamer. I don't play games that much anymore, but I used to, right? And I'm competitive in general with anything. So with win streaks, those losses can fuck you up mentally, right? Which is why, again, I explain everything in such detail because if you are confident in your strategy, you understand what's happening in market condition, market structure wise, and you can look at a chart no matter what and understand what's happening, you're going to have a lot more confidence, not just on the short term, but long term. You're going to have a lot more confidence holding drawdown, trades and drawdown. You're going to have a lot more confidence. You're going to be able to accept losses when they do come because you know that you win more than you lose. And all it takes is the next setup to cancel out that loss, right? And GJ is a perfect example of that. I got whipped out of GJ, but let's say you didn't get whipped out of GJ and you like to hold to SRTP gets it. Again, if we just use simple math, we pull out the handy dandy calculator. Love, shout out to whoever created the calculator, man, because fuck writing shit down and doing all this mental math, right? So let's pull out the calculator. Okay. Again, just simple, what you call it? Simple example, simple analogy. But let's hold that thought really quick. Give me 1 second. And again, if you guys got any questions, drop in the chat. We'll move to the charts, drop in the chat. But let's say, again, just using simple numbers, okay? So I got a $10,000 account. Let's say I'm risking $100 per trade. So let's say I took that GJ trade and I held to SL or the final TP got hit. I said I took a loss, right? And that's also why I say risk the same amount every single trade. Matter of fact, before we even get into this, where my phone at? If y'all have not watched this video on my YouTube channel, y'all need to do this first. So before we're gonna break it down, but before we even break this down, where's this video? Here it is. Hold on 1 second. I think it's this one right here. We're gonna break this down, y'all. Please like the live, subscribe. You're not subscribed yet. But we're about to break this down. And again, if you guys got any questions, drop in the chat. We're looking at your charts, drop in the chat. All right, so let's break this down. All right, let's break this down. US30 still ranging. Again, we got on see it either go one or two. You're either going to see price be chopped up until the F1, or we can catch a setup before F1C. That's literally how it goes. Just one of those two ways. BJ did a nice push. As you see, it's moving on the next team. Gold keeps on teasing us, but still isn't holding a level of resistance. We talked about this earlier. We got a little bit of work to do, but we are still bearish. We are still going with the flow of price, nonetheless. Right. So, with that being said, let's go back to what I was talking about. So, again, let's say you trade holding to SL or final TP. I don't recommend doing that, but realistically, you can still do that and still end up profitable in the day, and well, not the end of the day, right? So let's say, again, this is why I always talk about risk about every single trade. So let's say $100 per trade. Let's say we took that. We still have more chances to not only make money back, but cancel out that loss, which is why I always say make sure to go for 1 to 2, 1 to 3 minimum risk ratio setups, because we go for 1 to 2, 1 to 3 minimum risk ratio setups. All it takes is one win to cancel out your loss. All it takes is one win to cancel out your loss, right? All it's right. So again, we go to pull this up. Whoops, where'd it go? All right, so let's bring this back. So again, like I saw, we talked about gold and US30 as well. So let's say we gold setup ended up being a 1 to 2, almost 1 to 3. But just to keep it simple, let's just say 1 to 2, right? So again, 100 times 2, 200. So let's walk it back down. We took the L on GJ, we took a W on gold, literally canceled out that loss and we're in profit again, right? If we did it, if we took the US30 trade, that was 1 to 3. Again, all it takes is one win to cancel out 1 to 2 losses if you do the math, right? But on top of that, we didn't even talk about the one we took on Monday, right? So even for GJ, we took this one on Monday, which was a 1 to 3, right? So let's walk it down. 300. Again, we go to SL to TP just said, you're still in profit, right? So you could have chilled for the day, or again, if you would have took that GJ setup, I mean not that GJ setup, if you would have took that gold setup, you could have made another 200, right? Or if you took that US30 setup, you could have made another 300, right? And this is not even including the trades we took last week, right? So if we even go deeper with it, I'm not even going to talk about the trades I took on my own. We're going to just talk about strictly signals we took last week, right? So we walk down the trades we took last week. We're super up, right? So this is why I always tell y'all to review y'all's trades at the end of the week. Don't waste the weekend, because you got to be able to track and understand what the hell's going on, right? So let's walk it down right here. So this is how we did last week. So we caught a 1 to 2 RR, a 1 to 5, a 1 to 2, a 1 to 4, a 1 to 5, a 1 to 1, 1 to 1, a 1 to 1, right? So again, we got a 1 to 2, a 1 to 5, a 1 to 2. All right, we got a 1 to 2, a 1 to 5, a 1 to 2. 1 to 4, 1 to 5. Wait, hold on. Let me actually go down those because some of these weren't additional trades. So we had 1 to 5, a 1 to 4. So yeah, let me do this correctly. 1 to 5, 1 to 4. Then we had another 1 to 5. Then we had a 1 to 1. That's not correct. Obviously, it's not correct. All right, so we had a 1 to 1, 1. And then we had a 1 to 1 on Friday. Right. So this is what it's looking like. All right. So we still have a bunch of cushion from last week on top of that. So what we're going to also do, let's say again, because those 1 to 1s weren't the final TPs. So let's say again, you got wicked out on those 1 to 1s. Even if you got wicked out on those 1 to 1s. Actually, I gotta double it because I gotta take away the 1 to 1 profit, but also calculate the loss. So I gotta do it like that, right? So even if you just simply hold the SL or final TP gets hit, you're still up for the week, right? You still made 10%, almost 11% last week, right? So coming into this week, again, got the 1 to 3 on Monday. Even if you took the L on GJ, you're still up for the month, right? So again, this is why you got to calculate your lot size. This is why risk reward is so important on top of having a high win. Because again, if you win more than you lose, your winners are always bigger than your losers. You risk the same amount every single trade. You're going to win long term. On top of you don't let winners turn to losers, and you get wicked out in profit, and you take the small wins with the big wins. You're literally not going to lose long term. Literally not going to lose long term, right? So hopefully I didn't lose people with that. Hopefully that was kind of simple. Again, trade taking setups is just one part, right? It's a lot of things that come into trading. And then we see US30 back to this level. We're not going to trade US30. We're going to let US30. We're back at our entry on gold. I'm in slight profit on gold. Let's see what we get TP going on here. But let me know if that made sense. If I lost y'all, let me know if I lost y'all, because I know it could have kind of been confusing. But again, you got to sit down and do the math. You got to sit down and do the math. If you have a strategy that you know works, but you're still struggling with the break even, you got to sit down, right? You got to sit down and do the math and figure out what's going on. If you can win 2-3 trades, but one loss cancels out more than one trade, you got to sit down, review your trades, and do the math. Something's wrong. You know what I'm saying? You should not be losing 2 to 3 trades of profit on one loss. It's not how it should work. So, you guys got any chart? You guys got quite a chat when looking at your charts, drop in the chat. Yeah, we're back in profit on gold. Let's see if we can get this TP. Again, y'all, we got FOMC later on today. We're still gonna be live on TikTok today, y'all. We'll be live through FOMC. Like I said, I'm not gonna go live with the members today during that. We'll be live with the members tomorrow and Fridays, New York news. So make sure to be having your noties on and following me on TikTok as well as Instagram. You'll see that scrolling at the bottom of y'all screens. But let's see what this next 5 minutes look like. I was looking to see. I wanted to stay on to see if we can hit at least a 1 TP. We're back at our entry, slightly in profit, but we still got a little bit of work to do. You guys got any questions, drop in the chat. When looking at charts, drop in the chat. How do you establish the yellow and blue lines? They're based off key price levels that I use as support and resistance. I teach that step by step in Playmaker University as well as in the one-on-one sessions. So make sure to click that link in the description. Use discount code "It's My Time" to sell ends at the end for 20% off. I go over that in one-on-one sessions as well as in Playmaker University. All right, but I mark off and identify these key price levels based on market structure and the moves I'm looking for. And then I treat those levels as support or resistance based on the flow of price, right? So GJ, we're in an uptrend, which is why I've been using these key price levels as strictly looking for buy setups, right? With gold, bearish in a downtrend, which is why I've been using these key price levels as resistance levels and looking for not simply strictly sells, right? So that's how that works. So what I teach, and again, if you haven't been in the TikTok lives, be in today's TikTok live, right? But what I teach is how to read the charts, right? How to read the charts. No indicators, no trend lines, none of that. I teach you how to read the charts and market structure. Once you understand how the charts work and the rules of each cycle, you go with the flow of price. And then on top of going with the flow of price, when you mark off and identify these key price levels, you know the best places to enter at as well as exit at. So you're prepared and know the best places and where price is most likely going to do the next move, as well as where price is most likely going to reject that next. So again, when you trade like this, you're prepared and ready for everything. And you're also not going to be shocked or surprised at a rejection or retracement, right? Because again, you're prepared and ready. You know where the next rejection or retracement is going to be at. You know what I'm saying? And then that's what I also, again, we go to the advanced way signal. You can see this as well, right? So we go to last week, or even go to this week. Give me 1 second. Right. So again, this is an old signal. This is not the gold signal we're in. I repeat, this is not the gold signal we are in. This is me breaking down this gold trade. Okay. This is not the gold signal we're in. We are currently in this trade, but what I'm about to show you is this trade that already played out. Okay. All right. So let's break it down. All right. So again, we entered off this level, and look what happened when volume picked up. Treat this level from support to resistance, push to the downside. Look how price reacted when it came to this level, right? So when we go into the advanced way signal, you see we took the trade, of course. You see again, I'm updating people with the trade. Some other setups that are going as projected. Right? Remember Monday was talking about GBPJPYs. You see here, I was letting them know we're right back above that level. And then obviously you see how GJ played out on Monday. But this is what I wanted to point out, right? So you see here, when we hit TP5, I said goals approaching the next zone at 9:59 a.m., 10 a.m. candlestick. We go to the 10 a.m. candlestick, which was this one right here, right? 9:59, 9:45 candlestick going into the new one. I said what? We was approaching the next zone. What happened at 10 a.m. when we hit that level? Price rejected, right? Again, this is why we enter next off these levels, right? We go to trade we took last week. We try to find another one. Okay, so here's one, right? So we took this trade last week on the 14th, right? Give me 1 second. All right, so we took this trade on the 14th. You can see right here, I said I hit the middle of the zone. That was 3:07 p.m. Look right here, 1400, 1500. right? And then look what happened after I sent that message. We retraced, right? So again, when you enter the X off these levels, you're prepared to know where the next rejection, also where the next push to the upside or downside is going to be at. So we're almost at TP1. I want to see us hit. Let me see US30s, back to this level right here. I'm not going to take a trade on that. I'm just going to shoot the goal for right now. We're in profit. We got a little bit to go before we hit TP1. All right, we're gonna be on for a little bit longer, y'all, because now I want to see at least one TP get hit before we end the live. We got GJ retesting this level. And then we got US30 back at this level right here. And y'all, you guys got any questions? Drop them in the chat. When looking at your charts, drop them in the chat. What's today? Today's Wednesday? How the hell is it Wednesday already? That don't even seem right, but whatever. Appreciate those that like the live. Make sure to like the live and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. We just hit 3,800 subscribers. Look at the 3,850, y'all. Dropped some new stock and crypto analysis for y'all last week. Make sure to watch those and catch up to the playlist as well. All playlists are up to date. Come on, go do your thing. Do your thing. GJ doing a nice retest right there. Gold, we're in profit, but we're still not at TP on one yet. US30 is pushing as well. So again, y'all, US30, we are bullish on this. It's not looking the same market structure wise as NAS100, where NAS100 reverse. So we're either going to see US30 follow NAS100's lead and reverse to the downside, but we need to break back above and hold 44.960 as support. If we hold 44.960 as support, we can look for buys going back up to 45.70 or possibly back up to highs at 45.270, right? We can also look for short-term buys here. If we're going to maintain 44.810 as support, we can look for buys going back up to 44.950. Now, it could even retrace and try to retest 44.660. These are all levels where I'd consider buys at still. If it breaks past that level, I'll just have to wait to see what tomorrow Friday is looking like. Gold, again, if we can maintain a whole 33.24 as resistance, we're looking for sales going back down to the lows here at 33.14. As long as we maintain 33.34 as resistance, we are still bearish. Again, we got FOMC. We're going to see what New York sessions got in store for us. GJ, if we can hold 199.15 as support, we can look for buys going up to 199.70. Now, again, we need to hold this level as support, like we talked about earlier in the live, for the uptrend to continue. We can see buys going up to 220. When the price does reject this level, it could try to retest 198.50. As long as we hold this level, it's still bullish. Joe, shout out to everybody in the live. Shout out to everybody's been live since the beginning. Shout out to everybody's been live since you joined. And make sure to hit that first link in the description. Join the free signal and stuff like that. Your interest link how to identify these levels. My mentorship program. Make sure to hit those links in the description. And yeah, we'll be back at the same time tomorrow. London session 3 in EST.